Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just start naming off when we came in. Bust out the guitar. Well, to be fair, this song is based on a riff that I did. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I noticed in the last stream that my mic was a little bit hot, so you guys let me know if I'm too loud. Welcome, Rob. Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Fairlane. Good to see you here. Liquid Flame. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the mic check. Yeah, people tell me I look like Denzel Washington all the time. Can't believe someone hasn't said that yet. I should have, since when do I play an instrument? Or since, I don't know, since I was 18, like 20 years almost. Yeah, glad to see you guys here. That's what's up. You could leave a like, that'd be dope. Here's some guitar. All right, you guys want me to. Oh, big bangs. Somebody said to show my hands last time too, so I'll do that. Can't remember what key this is in. Here's the actual riff. Hold on. Let me show you guys something. You hear that now, right? Here's what that riff was based on. Oh my God. A little nervous right now. There you go. A little bit of music for you. Honestly, I'm really to the point where I don't really like playing guitar in front of people. But I will, I'll get more comfortable with that as we go along. You know, it's been probably fucking 15 years since I've played a show or anything like that. So getting used. The mic is clipping. Hold on a second. Is that better? That was a horrible, horrible play of that riff. I really need a pick to play it because it is more of like a, that guitar was a Yamaha, but I'm not, I don't really play brand favorites. Most of my guitars are Ibanez, but I also have a Schecter, a Cordoba, and a few others that I can't think of right now. Yeah, I used to not be so nervous about playing in front of people. That used to never bother me. But when you don't do it for a long time, it kind of, that nervousness kind of comes back in a weird way. Not a gearhead either, but you love Jackson. I mean, I like Jacksons too. Bust out the 9-string. No, no, not a metal player. And honestly, what I've been working on most lately is finger picking. So that's why I'm actually not that good, not as good at playing like that as I am doing like a finger picking riff. How many guitars do I have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total. 10 total, I think. My guitar collection is probably worth, let me see. It's probably worth about 15 grand. Which is a modest collection, to be honest. A lot. I know people who have way more than that in guitars. And to be fair, I'm trying to get rid of some of these. I don't really need them. I have several of them listed on Facebook Marketplace right now. So I'm trying to sell a few of them. I don't need that many freaking guitars. I don't want that many guitars. They're taking up too much space in my life. So if you guys want to buy a guitar, let me know. I will sell you one. So today should be an interesting stream. Oh well, you play a $300 nylon, dude. My favorite guitar that I play is a $100 Yamaha nylon, and I play that more than any other guitar. This is why I want to sell half of them. You know. I should sign them and offer them to you guys? That's an interesting idea. I don't know if people want to sign guitar from me. It's not like I'm a famous guitar player or anything. I don't know about that. I got to be careful about going too far into the whole fandom thing, you know, and having fans and stuff. It's a weird concept to me, and I still haven't gotten used to it over many years of ATA. So, yeah, I just feel weird doing shit like that. It feels weird. But to be fair, I do own a signed guitar from one of my favorite guitarists. So I get it. I get why people want them. I mean, like right here up on my wall, see that guitar? That's a signed guitar, you know, in a case. So I get it. I get why people like that stuff. I like that stuff too. It just feels weird when it's me, you know? I don't know. But yeah, so enough guitar talk, guys. This isn't a music stream. We're here. I'll just answer this one last question. It's signed by all the members of the band Polyphia, which is where it's a signature guitar from that band's guitarist. I went and saw them live and met them and had them sign it. So that's who signed it. It's not like a particularly valuable guitar or a particularly valuable signature. It was just something I wanted to do. I went and saw them. They were fucking awesome live. I would love to go see them many more times. But yeah, I got to go meet them and get them to sign my guitar. So it's not like that guitar hanging up is worth a ton of money. It's just valuable to me, and I had a great experience getting that guitar. So that's why it's in the case. As you can see right here, I don't treat my other guitars with the same special treatment, you know. Yeah, it was like I think that case was like $100 on Amazon. It's really not that crazy. I just wanted to keep dust off of it, preserve the signature. Anyway, God damn it, guys. Don't get me talking about fucking guitars because I'll never stop. All right. This will be a whole guitar stream if we start this. So don't let me go down that road. All right. We have an interesting stream today that I prepared sort of specially for you guys, you know, like the people in the chat, the people who have been interacting with me regularly here and who have been watching these streams, you know, pretty much every time they come on. If you're a fan of John Lang and ATA, mostly John Lang, you're probably going to appreciate today's episode because we are going to be looking at some, you know, like the thumbnail says and the title, some episodes of John Lang that never got published anywhere. I have a full episode of John Lang that I completely finished and for whatever reason just never uploaded to the channel. I'm sure I will after this video, since I mean, you guys are going to see it anyway, might as well. And then I have another one that was sent to me that I didn't cover or write anything about, but I did start editing it and then decided that I wasn't going to pursue the story for whatever reason. I can't even remember why. So we're going to watch that raw body camera footage today. I don't have the edit that I was doing, but we'll do that. How much do I make on average per month on YouTube? I'll share it for this channel because it's not very, the problem with sharing it with ATA is that I'd kind of be giving you some industry secrets by saying that. So it's not that I wouldn't want you to know how much money I make. But I wouldn't want other competitors to be able to have valuable information like that. But I can say that I pay myself a salary. So it's not like I get YouTube money, like I just rake in all the money that I don't pay out in outsourcing expenses. I pay myself a regular salary. So it's not like it is a 6-figure salary though, I'll say that. But it's still in the very, very low 6 figures. So I'm well compensated. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, I feel like I pay myself well. I make enough money to have a nice life. You know, I'm not a freaking gazillionaire or anything like that, by any means. And my children's financial security is not, fully taken care of, I would say. You know, I got many more years left before I will get to the point of retirement. So we'll just say that. Yeah, no Bugatti in my driveway, unfortunately. But honestly, I wouldn't have one anyway. I'm not a big fan of Bugattis. So yeah, I mean, you know, no secret. I make a decent amount of money. But it's not like I don't make $1 million a year or anything like that. But I live comfortably, relatively speaking, so I can't complain. As far as this channel goes, yeah, let me say this, because this is something that you guys might not understand about YouTube revenue. With a channel like ATA, you got to treat it like a business once it gets to a certain place, you know. So when ATA got a good following, my immediate thought was, well, how can we improve this content? And the obvious path for that in content creation is to bring people in to help you. So that's what I did. And so I've turned it from less of like, you know, I'm the only one making the money and the content. Instead, we're operating this like a business that I'm essentially the CEO of, and there were multiple employees. Like with this channel, the John Lang channel, I have an editor that works with me, who's also the mod, and he pretty much does all the VOD style editing, and he gets paid a specific amount for that. I don't want to disclose that because it's, you know, private, but I make very little money doing the John Lang content, and a lot of it ends up being reinvested in some way, shape, or form at some point. So as far as making money on this channel, it ain't happening. Not right now anyway. This is kind of a long-term investment, if you will. But it is a bit therapeutic to speak with like-minded people. I enjoy doing this. I don't think it's very taxing, you know, and it's still kind of a form of work. So it is what it is. All right. I hide 59 Les Pauls. No. Thanks for the donation. You're welcome, buddy. Yeah, it really is kind of this is, at the moment at least, a donation of my free time in a lot of ways, to the audience. But at the same time, I enjoy it, and I can see that if I continue on this path for a long enough time, surely it will generate a meaningful following and hopefully a meaningful source of income at some point in the future. But all I can do for now is try to enjoy it and have fun with it. And we'll see where it goes over the course of the next year or two, you know? But yeah, so let's get to the topic at hand. This may be a bit of a shorter stream than normal, considering that we only have really 3 videos to go over, but I mean, we could watch all of them at least. So what up, Direct D? Appreciate you sharing it. By the way, I got your text last night. I just didn't reply to it yet, dude. Sorry. I'm a really shitty texter. Ask literally anybody that fucking texts me. I'm just, I don't know. I'm always like looking at my phone, reading the text, be like, yeah, let me think about that. And then just never come back to it. Anyway. All right. Lost episodes of John Lang today. Let me add this one. Welcome back to the Jesus Christ. I hate that it automatically starts like that. So this is going to be an interesting episode. Lackluster source. Good. I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one. No Nike hoodie today. Repping the Mercedes F1 team. So this should be a pretty interesting video, and a lot of the shit that I said in this video, we've kind of talked about a little bit on the stream, but I think that it's still a good standalone video, and it covers a video that has been, yeah, this was recorded in, I don't even know, sometime last year, or maybe the year before that. It could have been 2023. So this is an old video. And like I said, I made it and just never posted it. I think mostly because it has to deal with a sovereign citizen. And you know how YouTube treats that content. It's not very fair. So ended up not releasing it. But again, I probably will release it. But I wanted to give you guys like sort of exclusive first viewership, if you will. But yeah, let's just jump into it, and we can talk about it as we go along. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the wonderful world of imagination. But seriously, today we're going to be talking about another sovereign citizen. And if you've seen any of my past videos, you kind of know how I feel about these guys. And girls, in this case. So today we have a literally ancient video that has been on the internet for as long as I can remember. This video was one of the first that I ever saw in regards to filming the... This is so meta, guys. I'm reacting to a video of myself. We're in the meta. We're in the meta right now. I'm reacting to a video of me. This feels kind of cringy somehow. I don't know why, but yeah, here we are doing the ultra meta analysis right now. Police. I was probably a teenager when this video was first uploaded to the internet, and it has made its rounds. Seems like every few years these old videos get dug up and resurfaced to the front page of Reddit or something like that. And this is a video that I have been sent many times over the years. And once again, another video that's just a little bit too short to make a full episode of ATA. I'm sure this video won't perform very well because YouTube doesn't really like sovereign citizens, rightfully so, but this video also includes some of the wildest legal claims I think I've ever heard compacted into 5 minutes. You know, I'm going to bring this, honestly, Fairlane, the only reason it doesn't feel like I'm hearing my own voice for the first time is because I hear my own voice all the fucking time. You know, most people don't hear their own voice very much, but for the past 6 years, I've been listening to my own voice pretty regularly. And, so it's not that weird to me. I know what I sound like at this point. So, you know, it's really not that weird. Inception vibes, right? And a lot of this speaks for itself, but I'm gonna chime in here and there and kind of talk you through what this person's talking about. Now, as far as context, there's not much to say. I wasn't really able to identify any of the individuals involved in this encounter, and it's not really relevant to the whole point of this video anyway. And this one's a bit of a doozy, so let's just jump right in and take a look.
But we told you he's an Article 4 free inhabitant, so he does not have to have a license.
All right, how many of you have seen this video? Because like I said in the original video, this is an ancient video. It's pretty old. So it's been around the internet for quite a while. Yeah, if you guys have seen this, you know. Yeah. Oh, Thomas, if you haven't seen this, you're in for a treat. I can only imagine the funny shit you're about to say, dude. All right. Well, I'm glad that not many people have seen this yet, because this is a great video to illustrate sovereign citizens.
Is on recording. Article 4, free inhabitant pursuant to the Articles of Confederation. You can look it up. It's in the United States Book of Codes. It is your laws you have to follow.
All right, I will do that.
Just please call my mom now.
I want to walk you back here.
Article 4, free inhabitant pursuant to the Articles of
Put
Confederation.
the camera down for me. Is that if it records, that's fine. But I don't want you holding anything.
No weapons, no weapons. All right, no.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing.
I get out of the car?
Yes.
No, I'm not getting out of the car.
All
You
right.
can go get your superior.
Well, I am going to tow this car, and you cannot be in the vehicle while I'm towing this vehicle.
Well, if you go get your superior,
That's not
he'll
gonna happen right
clarify
now.
that he can be set free because he does not
That's
have
not
to have a
going to
license.
happen right now, young lady. So either you're going to come out of the car on your own free will, or I'm going to assist you.
I'm going to get out of the car and walk down to that house.
No,
Everyone commenting on her voice, her personality perfectly matches that tone of voice. Her personality is flawlessly the same as that tone of voice. You're going to see. I'll just let it play.
you are not free to leave right now.
Are you saying you have authority over me?
Yes, I do.
You have proven authority over me.
Yes, I do.
How did you do that?
The County of Imperial through the sheriff.
You do not have authority over a human being,
All right,
over
well,
a free
you know what?
inhabitant.
Do you want to argue the point?
You need to go look up your
I don't
laws.
have to look at anything right now. What I need to do is get you out of the vehicle. If you have identification, please hand the identification over to me.
No,
Identify yourself to me.
and I'm not going to step out of the vehicle.
All right, well, you know, you are impeding my investigation. You are delaying me, which is a penal code violation in the state of California.
All right, we're a minute and a half in, and there's already a ton to talk about here. First of all, the cop kind of gave us some clues about where this is. We're in the state of California, so that clears up a lot of the context. Let's talk about Article 4, free inhabitants. So what she's referring to there is actually the Articles of Confederation, specifically Section 4. The actual text of that article states, quote, "The better to secure and perpetuate mutual friendship and intercourse among the people of different states in this union, the free inhabitants of each of these states, paupers, vagabonds, and fugitives, from justice excepted, shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of the free citizens in the several states." So I don't know, like I can't remember what I'm about to say, but I do want to say that this is a common tactic, okay? It's not just the Articles of Confederation that sovereigns like to, you know, draw their what does she call it? Free inhabitant authority from. Sometimes they'll go all the way back to the Magna Carta. They'll go back to documents that existed before before the country even existed. So like there's no limits to how far back these people are willing to go to try to cherry pick something to bolster this argument. And I think that this is kind of a testament to that. And I like the idea that the Articles of Confederation, which was nullified when the Constitution was ratified, is now part of a separate code. I know, right? And I think that that's actually what I'm about to talk about, is the fact that the Articles of Confederation are null and void thanks to the Constitution. But again, these people are living in a totally different world than the rest of us, I guess. But let's get on with it. Foreign citizens tend to claim and identify the notion of a free inhabitant in an effort to sort of avoid the constitutional standard that we have now established. Sorry to pause it again, but geez, maybe that's why I never released this, because I'm very handsy in this video. Just hands and hands. I might as well be doing a fucking puppet show at this point. I mean, you'll see. I'm sure that'll get on your nerves. See, in 1789, we established the Constitution and basically made the Articles of Confederation null and void, including the Article 4 of the Free Inhabitant Clause. And of course, even when the Articles of Confederation were established and were the law of the land, Article 4 was not an opportunity for individuals to claim freedom from the laws of the land. So to sum all that up, Article 4 free inhabitants are not recognized by any court, and it's just a legal fallacy. Now, to speak on the officer's authority
authority to remove this individual from the vehicle. As we've discussed on many episodes of ATA, officers are well within their rights to ask passengers to exit the vehicle. The video was one of the
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Applies to U.S. citizens.
topics. So,
But did you guys hear what I just
this
said?
in a lot of in their rights to ask passengers.
Yeah, you hear that?
Officers are well within their rights to ask.
Ugh, can't believe I said that. That's disgusting. Granted, it was just like probably a misspeaking. I highly doubt that I had written that way. But what I said there was that the cop would be within his rights. Now, you guys know that's not how we talk about the cops. They don't have rights like that. They don't have rights to do things to other people. They have the authority to do things to other people. And if I was watching this video from someone else, I would be saying this very same critique. So this guy you're watching on the screen is just an idiot. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. God, what a dumbass, right? Jesus. No, look, Neo, we're not being extorted by the government. We're just not fucking idiots who believe in sovereign citizen bullshit. It's nonsense, dude. Has nothing to do with being bought or paid for by anyone. You just believe dumbass shit when you're a sovereign citizen. That doesn't make any logical sense, that no one else believes. It's retarded. That's why I make fun of it, because it's dumb. That's it. No government shill, none of that. I'm actually very anti-authoritarian in many ways. So why, Neo? I'm gonna stop engaging with you because you sound like a fucking idiot.
Passengers to exit the vehicle and to remain on the scene until the traffic stop is completed. We've covered this in a lot of different episodes, so if you just go randomly click a video on ATA's channel, there's a chance that we've discussed this topic. So needless to say, everything that this woman has said thus far is wrong, and she actually is under a legal obligation to comply with this officer's orders as of right now. But anyway, this is just the beginning. Let's let the video roll and see what happens.
That law only applies to U.S. citizens.
Well, where are you a citizen of?
I am not a U.S. citizen.
Well, see, that's
I
where
am
you're
a free
mistaken.
inhabitant. I am of
That's
the
where
earth. I do not belong to any corporation. I do not belong to any country.
Yeah, but as
No.
long as you're in the sovereign states of the United States, you will abide by the rules
No.
and laws.
See,
and you have certain protection.
a free inhabitant is they are allowed to. They're free people. They have all of the rights of a U.S. citizen without following any of their laws.
Wow, talk about.
Yeah, so I'm about to go into a thing about this, but look, Neo, you're accusing us of being government shields, dude. That's what you said. You said, are you being paid off by the government? Like, that's an offensive implication. And if you can't wrap your head around why I would be offended by that, then you need to reevaluate your whole process for interacting with people online, brother. Scooter's place. I really want to make up something right now, but I feel like it's not fair to do it to people who have never donated before. Thank you for the $20, my man. Oh, I appreciate that, brother. That means a lot. But what I was about to say is, isn't it so crazy how these sovereign citizen idiots, she just said it. She said the quiet part out loud for sovereign citizens, which was, I get all the rights and none of the rules. And I think I say this soon, but it's worth repeating. No, you don't. You know, like that self-serving attitude is the primary motivation of sovereign citizen ideology. They don't actually give a shit about anything beyond that. They don't care about effectuating change or like, you know, doing any kind of meaningful acts that would advance their ideology and narrative. It's purely an escape mechanism for being a self-centered asshole who can't take the time to figure out how the world actually works. And that's all it is. So that's why we talk shit about sovereign citizens on this channel, because they're self-serving assholes who don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. So yeah, that's why. I'll change it to like this. That looks better. But I think I'm about to say something like that.
A sense of entitlement. It is honestly baffling that someone out there is walking around with the notion that they are entitled to all the rights of a citizen, but none of the responsibility. And this idea really encapsulates sovereign citizens as a whole. This attitude, this perspective, it seems to be what really permeates and motivates the sovereign citizen ideology. They don't really care about making change to the legal system or effectuating their beliefs on a grander scale. This is why no one takes them seriously. Not only does this not live up to any kind of legal standard that we abide by today, but it's just morally ambiguous at best. This type of thinking only serves the individual. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, depending on the circumstances. In this case, this woman seems to believe that she can just commit any crime she wants and still is entitled to protection from the police and to protection from the legal system as a whole. When you commit crimes and you are prosecuted for those crimes, you are essentially surrendering many of the rights that were granted to you as a citizen of.
Thomas, you're exactly right, dude. It's not like, I will say this. It's so weird how when you go from one end of the spectrum to the other, no matter what the topic is, let's just take sovereign citizens and law enforcement out of the subject for a moment. Let's talk about politics, because this is one of the most easy, I think, analogies to understand. It's almost like if you go too far left or right, you sort of end up in the same place where you're both accusing each other of exactly the same types of misconduct. You're acting with the same sense of entitlement. The political discourse just breaks down when you go too far to one side, and you end up acting almost exactly like the opposite party that you hate so much. That's kind of exactly what's happening with sovereign citizens. They hate, cops and authority so much that they've gone full circle and started acting like they are cops and they are in a position of authority. If you took the mannerisms, the conduct, and the way that the average sovereign citizen, carries himself, and you compare that to how the average cop carries himself, if they were just in plain clothes, you probably wouldn't know much of a difference. So I think that's a good point to make, Thomas. and it's very true. They basically just act like cops. How do laws apply to chump? That's a totally different discussion, one that we'll probably eventually get into, but not today. Focusing on what we're talking about today for now.
This country. Not all of them. But for example, when you're charged and arrested and sent to jail, you no longer have a Fourth Amendment right to the same degree as your average citizen walking around on the street. And in some instances, you're required to surrender your voting rights or gun rights or some other rights, depending on the crime that you committed. So of course, it goes without saying that none of this makes any sense whatsoever. And I can only imagine what state our society would be in if this type of belief system was actually enacted. I can already tell that this probably isn't going to end well. So let's just jump right back into the video and finish it up.
Well, that would just be pure anarchy if that were the case.
No, because
So
we're
I'm gonna have
peaceful
you step
people.
out of the
We're
vehicle
peaceful
for me,
people. You go call them up and ask them, and they'll tell you exactly what I'm talking
Well,
about.
I don't know who to call.
You're
I
superior.
like that idea, Liquid.
Well, I am a superior to a certain extent.
So call your superior.
Well, it's going to take a couple hours or so for somebody to come down.
Well,
And
just
that's
call
not going to
them.
happen right now.
Well, then we're gonna have to solve it some other way.
All right.
We just need to. You need to call in, tell them I'm a free inhabitant, and find out what
Well,
that is.
I am going to tow this vehicle, young lady, so you cannot be in this vehicle.
I understand that. So all right, then I'm gonna get out of the vehicle and I'm going to walk down to that house
No, you're
because
not.
you do not have
No,
authority
you're
over
not.
me. Well, then I'm not getting out of the vehicle.
No, you're not.
Why?
You're not free to leave.
Why?
As soon as I conclude the rest of my investigation, you will be free to leave. As far as I know, you have not done anything wrong at this point, but you are slowly reaching to
okay,
that point
you know what?
to 148 PC.
I'll get out of the vehicle for you. I will get out of the vehicle.
All right, so the officer is essentially saying that you haven't done anything wrong yet by refusing to get out of the car, but he could potentially charge her with California Penal Code 148, which is the state's.
That's right, Stocksmith. It is a big horseshoe theory that when you're talking about sovereign citizens, I didn't want to say I'm trying not to get too philosophical and axiomatic on this channel because I don't know how much that kind of stuff appeals to people. I'm trying to be pretty, stick to the objective framework we have to work with and not introduce philosophical theories to explain things because they're not a real explanation, you know. But I do think that the horseshoe theory, it applies directly to political systems and the anti-authoritarian regimes that arise through those same systems. So that, yeah, Joshua Cox just said it himself. I know you don't like to talk politics, but horseshoe theory is not valid. You know, that's what I'm saying, is that a lot of the philosophical principles that underpin a lot of the things that we talk about on this channel are just theories, you know. And I wouldn't feel comfortable applying what is essentially preferential subjective theories to an objective rule of law. So yeah, I think it just muddies the waters, and when we don't need to do that, because we already have a very straightforward legal system for us to refer to and draw from. So we don't have to go as deep as the philosophical elements of it. As much as I'd love to have those conversations, I really do. I just don't feel like this is necessarily the format for that. So maybe at some point we'll have a stream dedicated to, you know, what are the philosophical underpinnings of law enforcement and governance in general, because I think those are those are legitimate questions to ask. And those are the questions that eventually send people down this path of sovereign citizen ideology. So, you know, it's dangerous. You have to be careful when you're talking about all this philosophical shit, because it inherently corrupts your interpretation of the objective frameworks that we've all established. So if your political ideology can be plotted on a line, you're doing it wrong. I agree with that, Bean Party. I'm going to show that, because I agree. I think that everyone should have a more nuanced theory than, or a set of beliefs than what's offered currently on the American political stage. But we're diverging from the point here. I just wanted to make that point, that there's a reason I don't dive into the deeper layer there, and it's just to keep this moving and keep it going, because we could talk about that all day. Oh, I would love to do a conspiracy theory stream one day, and we will do that. So I won't put up that comment, Ben. Don't worry. I'm not going to put it up. That comment right there that you said not to put up, I'm not putting it up. So don't worry about it. We're never going to see that comment. It's like it never even happened.
Obstruction law. And I wholeheartedly agree here. Like I said earlier, we've discussed many times that officers are well within their authority to order the passenger of a stopped vehicle out of the vehicle. And it seems to me that California Penal Code 148 would probably be the appropriate charge in this situation. I don't have much more to say about that. I just wanted to kind of jump in here and say that the officer would probably be well within their authority.
One thing I think I need to add to this section that I'm not really addressing here too much is that that's all depending on whether or not the original stop was lawful. And the reason I think it was is because I believe later in the video, the cop says something to the effect of, the reason I'm stopping you was for your tag. And I can only imagine what tag was on that vehicle, or lack of a tag, I should say, because I guarantee you it said something like not, or private vehicle, or not engaged in commerce, or some bullshit like that. You don't get to see it, but yeah, I didn't mention that here, and I felt like it should have been said that this is all based on the implication that this stop is actually legal and lawful.
To charge this lady with obstruction as of right now, but especially if he makes a physical attempt to remove her from the vehicle and she does not comply, then there would be no question that Penal Code 148 would be implicated here. Anyway, let's jump right back into the video and see how this goes.
I'm getting Mama.
All right, well, you're not free to leave.
You're
going to take the bag
off. No, I'm
You're going
not.
to take the bag.
Volume warning for you guys out there. I don't know how the volume distribution is between my voice and the video, but it's about to get loud, just so you know.
No, I'm not. Hey! This is you're me. This is
Relax.
okay.
Relax Relax your arms.
It's relaxed.
Stop fighting with
It's
me.
relaxed.
Stop fighting with me. Stop fighting.
All right? I'm not fighting.
Center 2, 5, 6. I got a combative X-ray.
Here, I'm lifting my arm up. I'm lifting my
Leave
arm
your
up.
arm right
It
there.
hurt, okay? I told you what I was doing.
This is pain compliance, okay? It's not meant to be comfortable.
This is
Do I have your
illegal.
attention?
This is completely illegal.
Left your arm.
No! Take my bag off.
I can't.
You're not putting me in the car. You can wait till you get superior. You are not taking my bag off. You can handcuff me with my bag on.
You're right. I will. Relax.
I'm relaxed. Don't touch my bag! You touching my bag! You're gonna get in so much trouble, you son of a bitch! You're gonna get sued! You don't even know what you're doing! I'm telling you, I'm
Young
gonna
lady,
fucking sue you!
Stop.
What's your name? Our fucking Godona, you're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get fucking... Oh my god, you don't know your own laws!
All right,
So before I get into this on the original video, something I don't think I said in this video, which I may have, like I said, it's been a long time since I've watched this, but isn't it interesting that she threatens to sue him? Because like, under what framework are you going to issue a lawsuit if you're still going by the Articles of Confederation? What court are you going to use for that has jurisdiction that relies on the Articles of Confederation to do? Yeah, Thomas, that's right. She's just going to make up her own court and sue him in that, I guess. Because, I mean, if you're rejecting the idea that the Constitution is now the law of the land, I don't think you even have any rights at that point. You know, like where do you derive your rights from? Because if it's not some salient, formidable document that we've all collectively agreed on, I don't know where it would come from. Her crime was 148G, refusing to exit the vehicle. And I don't think he actually intended to arrest her at the beginning of this, but she did not obey a lawful command to get out of the vehicle. He had every right to arrest her. Or he had all the authority to arrest her, I should say. But I just think it's funny that she's saying you're going to have legal repercussions from a legal system I don't believe in.
So, as soon as this lady exited the vehicle, the officer put her in handcuffs, which he is well within his authority to do. It's clear that this woman was displaying aggressive behavior, so handcuffs seem appropriate. And it's important to mention that at no point did he tell her that she was under arrest. Officers are typically well within their authority to temporarily handcuff someone in lieu of their detention, especially if they are being combative or disruptive or potentially a threat. For this woman to go on and shout the R word as she's being grabbed by this officer, I just have nothing positive to say about that. You know, we've had this big discourse in our society about victim mentality and things like that. In my opinion, this is exactly what that is on display, especially when taken with the earlier context of the things that this woman was saying, how the laws don't apply to her, yet she's still entitled to all these rights. And then this isn't necessarily captured on video, but it appears as though the officer removed this woman's bag from her. Now, I don't know if he cut it off of her or if he just took it out of a loop or something like that, but it obviously upset her. But I also see the reasoning behind the officer's actions on this one. I mean, he had no idea what she had in that bag. It would not be safe to keep her handcuffed near her bag or with her bag in her possession. And you could see that he tried to remove it before handcuffing her, but she just refused to allow that.
To add some credibility to what I'm saying here, beyond, like, you know, in a regular situation dealing with a normal person who doesn't identify as a Article 4 free inhabitant or whatever the fuck she wants to call herself, it would, even in that situation, not be a good idea to just handcuff someone with all their shit still on them. Like I said, you don't know what they have, but it's even more so true when you're dealing with a sovereign citizen, because there have been multiple instances in the past of sovereign citizens getting into gunfights with police over minor traffic infractions and stuff. There's a famous case in Washington, D.C. of a father and son who were pulled over and ended up killing the cop, going on this long pursuit with the cops behind them, shooting at them many times. I mean, there's a reason that the FBI and all these other organizations have categorized sovereign citizens as domestic terrorists. And it's not just because they're fucking idiots. It's because they're dangerous idiots. And they've done shit like mail anthrax to political leaders. They've had coordinated plots to kill certain political leaders. So this isn't some loosely organized, like there are cells of the sovereign citizen movement, or at least there used to be to a much greater degree, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, who were actually coordinating and, doing things to try to tear down the government. Another thing they like to do is file a bunch of super frivolous lawsuits that mean nothing and just tie up the courts with garbage, cases. So to say that they're not dangerous would be wholly untrue. They are by far a dangerous group of people. They have a reputation for being dangerous. So just want to add a little more context to that, for why you might want to disarm or at least remove sovereign citizens' things from them in a traffic stop.
To happen. As of right now, it seems as though everything that the officer's done is well within his authority and no constitutional violations have occurred. But then again, would she even recognize a constitutional violation if it did occur? If this woman is operating on the legal premise of the Articles of Confederation, then according to her, she has no Fourth Amendment rights or First Amendment rights or any rights whatsoever, because all the rights we recognize today as a society are established by the Constitution. And if you don't recognize the Constitution, then I guess free inhabitants don't have rights. But regardless of whether or not this individual respects and acknowledges the Constitution,
I should clarify something, because there's a legitimate critique to be had here, which is that I'm characterizing this as if you get your rights from the Constitution, but that's not necessarily the case. The Constitution protects your rights and guarantees them, but it doesn't necessarily give them to you. Your rights come from being a human and existing on this land, So it's not that the Constitution gives you your rights, it protects your rights, and it outlines them. Yeah, you're right, Stimpy. The Constitution outlines our rights to the government. It doesn't give them to us. It just makes sure that the government recognizes and adheres to those rights. So I just wanted to point that out, because that's a critique that I get often, and I often mischaracterize that in that way just through a figure of speech. But I do want to make that apparent that I know this, and that although I don't say it very much, this is an understanding I hope that most people already have, I guess. But it's worth saying. It's worth saying out loud. What are you guys talking shit about over here? Oh, that's a good point, Stimpy, looking back. Don't claim it's just sovereign citizen cops want to disarm. Police believe we are all criminals until they decide otherwise and don't have the right to arm ourselves. Valid critique there as well. That's couldn't say it enough. The narrator of this video gets a C+. He knew his material, but didn't articulate it well. Fair critique. I agree with that. I probably assign the same grade. But let's continue. We'll get through this.
We as a society have collectively decided that this will be our legal system. And regardless of whether you're a free inhabitant or a foreign national, if you come to America, you are expected to abide by America's legal system. But anyway, we got a couple more minutes left on this video, so let's just take a look and see how it ends.
Relax, young lady.
You don't know your own laws!
Relax, young lady.
I can't believe you just did this.
You need to calm down.
You're gonna get in trouble. You don't know your own laws.
Calm down.
You're illegally doing this. I told you I was a free inhabitant.
Calm down.
You are illegally doing this.
Young lady, calm down.
You are illegally doing this. I told you this is against my will. You did this illegal. You cut my bag.
All right, you're under arrest.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Give me my stuff.
Relax.
No.
You're
Leave me alone.
You can't have this big camera.
You can go get your superior.
I will.
Go get, and I'm waiting right here. Go get your fucking superior. You son of a bitch! Give me my fucking stuff. You fucking asshole!
You need to calm down.
You need to fucking learn your goddamn job because you don't know your fucking laws!
Alright, so the video abruptly ends there. Now it's clear at this point that the officer did in fact cut her bag from her shoulder, which once again is a reasonable thing to do if you refuse to allow him to take it off of you before being handcuffed. One thing to mention is that the officer did remove the camera from this woman's hands, another topic that we have discussed on ATA. Typically officers are well within their authority to remove a camera from your hands if you're being arrested. You're not allowed to take a camera to jail, so like any of your other belongings, it will be inventoried and documented along with the rest of your stuff. Now, as far as this woman being arrested under California Penal Code 148, I could completely see that being a legitimate charge in this circumstance. The officer gave her many times to comply with lawful orders. She refused almost every one of them, and it was clear that she had no intentions of obeying any other orders that the officer would have given. I have almost no doubts that she was prosecuted for this crime, likely forced to pay a fine or something to that effect. And once again, this is just another video of sovereign citizens and their ideologies not playing out how they think they're going to. Luckily for us, it seems like this movement is kind of dying down as we move into a more digital age and more people have more access to more information. It kind of leaves like no excuse to believe this kind of stuff.
That's exactly what I was about to say. What do you know? Me and this guy think a lot alike. You know, we're on the same level. Me and this guy, you know, I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm in his head. It's crazy. It's almost like we're the same person or something. It's wild. But yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's well said, dude. Well said. Man, this guy's a fucking genius. How come you guys aren't on this? You know what I'm saying? Jeez. You know?
Anymore because
James Freeman was arrested? Hold on a second. James Freeman? Oh, damn it, dude. It's kind of hard to highlight these comments. Sorry. Please tell me more.
we all have the tools and resources to know better, and it says a lot if you've devoted so much time to understanding sovereign citizen ideology, yet you couldn't take the time to understand the actual legal system that we go by. In my opinion, there's really no excuse for this type of conduct or this type of belief system, and in my opinion, this is just a video of a lawful arrest. I gotta say, the officer was very patient and professional throughout the entire encounter. At no point did he lose his cool or make any threats. He simply carried out his duty to the best of his ability and remained patient and cordial throughout the entire interaction. And as a matter of fact, I hope that other sovereign citizen interactions unfold much like this one. I'm never a fan of people going to jail, but I am a fan of people learning the legal system one way or another.
And honestly, there's only one way that a fucking sovereign citizen is going to learn the system. You know what I'm saying? There's only one fucking way. It's not going to be through ATA or this channel. You know what I'm saying? They hate this channel. They hate me. So you can only imagine the kind of education that they're actually getting. I mean, there's really only one way to learn, and that's the fucking hard way. And that's the way that they choose to learn. So can't feel sorry for them. I mean, like I said, like this genius right here on your screen said before, you have no excuse to not know better at this point. You know, you have no excuse. You should know better than believing this. And if you do, then you're just an idiot. And apparently there's no other way to fix this, you know? Well, let's wrap this up.
And it seems to me like this woman probably never would have been exposed to what the legal system is really like unless she had been arrested. Deep down inside, I kind of hope that when sovereign citizens get arrested, they have this like awakening and epiphany and they realize, oh man, my beliefs are wrong. Of course, that's probably never the case, but you know, I like to be optimistic. Anyway, this is just another short video I thought I'd share my opinion on, and you let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you like this type of content, if you'd like to see more of these like short, casual review style stuff. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this video to the end. I sincerely appreciate all your support. Any likes, comments.
Okay, that's enough of that guy, right? So yeah, that's a video that never got released. Yeah, one man in Japan is being sarcastic. I guess we have a running joke that people believe I'm a lawyer and that I have to consistently do shit to remind people that I'm in fact not a lawyer, like this right here. Boom. We got the fucking disclaimer back, boys. I can tell you all kinds of wrong information now. But no, interesting episode, but just something that never quite made it to the channel. And it sucks when that happens because that video probably took me, at least several hours of editing and putting together, writing, which a lot of that wasn't really written. I can tell looking back on it that most of that was just me reacting in real time. But I may have done some kind of preliminary stuff. I just don't know that, a long time ago. So yeah, no, that's actually an accurate statement right here. I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on YouTube. Yeah, that is very, very true. That's kind of the situation I'm in right now. An ATA React channel? I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of pretentious to just react to my own shit all the time. That's why I'm doing this as like a one-time thing, It kind of feels like I'd be a dickhead if I were to just go reacting to my own shit all the time. I want to bring you guys some stuff you maybe haven't seen, and honestly, not just turn this into a giant ego booster, but I'm trying to tell other people's stories, not my own, really. So, yeah, there we go. One man in Japan can start a channel reacting to my live streams or ATA content. That'd be fine too. If literally anyone else wants to do that, feel free. ATA is kind of reactish anyway. Yeah, that it is. It is basically a commentary channel when you really boil it down, because you're not getting any kind of real advice that you could take into a courtroom, of course, but it is I think it's at least a little bit of a step above pure entertainment. So I don't know what it is. I'm reluctant to put a label on it because it's just a YouTube channel, really. So, whatever, I'll probably end up posting that video though, just because, I have it sitting around. You guys have checked it out. It was fun to watch it for us together or with us together, but it would be, I think it could still, after I watched it now, I think it could still function as a standalone video. I could probably, do something with it. So we'll see. You may see that uploaded. A lost episode. I can't believe you guys hadn't seen that original video before. I've been seeing that video since I was like, I don't know, 17, 18. I need to make a a disclaimer saying Minnie Mouse was not harmed during her arrest. Who knew Minnie Mouse was a sovereign citizen? I knew Walt Disney was kind of out there, dude, but to go out there and just develop a whole ideology for a fictional character is kind of fucked up, No wonder they were investigating him for his communist ties back in the 50s. Yeah, it is a classic sovereign citizen video. So the next one that we have is don't shit talk the mouse. I know, dude. Goofy was the OG soft sit. I avoid soft sit videos. They're more annoying than funny. I don't know. I find them funny because it's just so ludicrous. The shit that they say oftentimes is just fucking insane, So we just saw. So I find that funny. I like to laugh at that rather than be angry at that. I feel like it's just healthier for me to laugh at it than to be mad. Were you going back in the past on that, John, on that vid? Yeah, honestly, I recorded that in a completely different location than what I do now. Like there's a lot of stuff I was doing differently back then than compared to what I'm doing now. So it was a bit of a blast from the past. Yeah, it is kind of funny that they submitted that video, which I don't remember where. God, I'd have to I don't even know how I would track that down, how I got that video. That was so long ago. So I don't even know. I don't know if they submitted it. It could have been someone they knew or someone that I got in touch with about it. Also, a lot of these videos online, you may not know, but a lot of the videos that are like that have been on the internet for a while, they're often owned by corporations like Viral Hog or other companies like that, where they bought the rights to the video from the original uploader for probably $30 or whatever. And so then they have the rights to it. I actually ran into an issue with that in a Second Amendment case that I covered, where Viral Hog actually owned the licensing for it, and they tried to copyright strike me, but I appealed it, and I was basically like, fuck you, you don't, you know, like, this is clear fair use, you know, like, I mean, I don't know how much more fair use you can get. I'm not paying you for a fucking video that doesn't even really belong to you, that you ripped somebody off for. So in my opinion, Viral Hog can go suck a dick. Fuck them. I hate that company. They're pieces of shit. And they rip people off for their content. So if you ever film something that happens to go viral, do not sell it to Viral Hog. You can make money off of that on your own. You don't need to, they're $25 or whatever. But yeah, so they ended up getting rid of that copy strike and fucking off about it. But it was kind of, I found it pretty obnoxious that they would do that, considering the context of the content. I get it if you're not adding anything to the footage. I mean, they own the footage. Makes sense. And I actually, no, now that I'm thinking about it, that video that I'm talking about, I had already contacted the original uploader of that video before they sold it to Viral Hog. But then I did not cover it at the time. I waited like 2 years later and eventually got around to doing it. And then that's when they had gotten the license in that time. So I explicitly remember having the original person's permission to use it, and this company just trying to get in between that. Like, fuck, you know, fuck that. Anyway, so we have another interaction that I didn't make a full dedicated John Lang video for, but it was on the docket, if you will, to become a John Lang video. And I guess we'll check that out now. It's just body camera footage. We do have some dash cam from inside the vehicle as well, but I'm not going to play that because it's just difficult to play different body cams at different times. But we do have two officers, and I'm going to do my best to kind of to give you the full, to go in between these body cameras as needed, because this is not set up in a traditional edit anyway. This interaction, I believe, took place in Orlando, Florida, if I remember correctly. But again, this was another video that was kind of, it's been a long time since I looked at it or saw anything about it. So this is basically going to pretty much be my first time watching it again. There's no audio right now, just so you guys know. He's about to turn it on.
Hey, good morning. I'm Officer Robinson, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Do you know where I stopped you? I don't. Okay. Do you know the speed limit on Gator?
I didn't realize this was from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the same department that beat the shit out of McNeil for no fucking reason. Yeah, I didn't realize that. So there's some context we didn't have before.
I don't. Okay, the speed limit's 35. How fast you think you were going?
I'd like you to tell me.
Okay, well, I got you on laser at 55. You have your driver's license on you?
You have me on laser at 55?
Hey, I give it to this guy. That was good. Whenever a cop asks you, do you know how fast you were going? Or do you know why I stopped you? That's an incriminating question. And he immediately recognized that and was like, how about you tell me how fast I was going? That's exactly how you should reply to that, you know? So let's run that again so we can hear him say that.
Hey, good morning. I'm Officer Robinson, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Do you know where I stopped you?
I don't.
Okay, do you know the speed limit on Gator Bowl?
I don't.
Okay, the speed limit's 35. How fast you think you were going?
I'd like you to tell me.
One thing I will say, though, is he said that he didn't know the speed limit. don't say that. Just say, yes, you do. But don't say what the speed limit is. Even if you don't know it, just say you do. They have no way to prove that you knew otherwise, you know, so just say, yes, I did know the speed limit. And that's what I was doing. You know, so yeah, don't ever say you don't know the speed limit. That's going to be a difficult thing to get over.
Okay, well, I got you on laser at 55. You have your driver's license on you?
You have me on laser at 55?
Yes, sir.
You're going to put that on an official document?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I've got a dash cam,
Okay,
which records, and I know.
If he asks, what is it? I think that could reasonably interpret it. Let me highlight this comment. Where did it go? He's so... Is that it? Nope. Okay, well, the question was, damn, where did the question even go? Did you retract your shit? No, the point I'm trying to make is that if they say, you know, what is it? There it is. It's from Fairlane. If he says, what is it? Don't answer. You don't have to answer. If the cop asks you what's the speed limit, say, I know what it is, but I'm not going to repeat that now. Or just say, I'd like to invoke my right to silence, because that's all you have to do. The point is, don't answer the question. You're not required to. And actually, answering this question with a question is probably, yeah, no, Socksmith, that's right. The best response is generally just how fast was I going? So that you can just avoid the whole fucking bullshit. Sorry, I know I need to get my shit together, but I'm using StreamYard instead of OBS, and I'm still getting used to the layout of this and even being able to highlight comments. So sorry, I'm fucking this up. That's probably going to happen a lot over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I agree with that. I think that answering the question with a question is probably the best way to do it if you're going to say anything.
I wasn't going 55.
okay.
So we'll be going to court on this one.
And I will see you there.
Excellent.
I actually enjoy court.
That's great. That's a great attitude for a police officer.
Yes, sir. Everything's on camera, so.
I agree with that, though. Why do you enjoy court? Who the fuck enjoy court? Court is not meant to be enjoyed. You know, it's not a fun process. And what you're saying by saying I love court is saying I'm willing to go to court. It's sort of an intimidation tactic in a lot of ways.
I just need your driver's license. I don't need anything else. All right, hold tight for me, okay? And also, I'm going to give you a warning for your tint. But give me 1 second.
That's an accurate way to do it. Just to quickly address this, he doesn't need a test to have suspicion that the tint might be illegal. And in a lot of states, tint of any amount is illegal, and any darkness in your tint can be used to develop reasonable suspicion for potentially violating that crime. That's why it's really not a good idea to tint your windows at all, because you're basically handing the cops a free reasonable suspicion card in a lot of ways. And it does. No, you're right, Biospark. It fucking feels shitty. It is shitty that they can even do that. But unfortunately, this is just what we've allowed. This is how far we've allowed traffic regulation to go. That something that literally has no impact on anyone else on the road can be like regulated to the degree of arresting you over it. It's ridiculous. the whole way that state level traffic enforcement is done is so just fucked. It's a terrible system. Terrible. I agree with the notion of regulating it to some degree, and I think that there does need to be safety related statutes in regards to how we drive. But we've just taken that idea to the maximum, and it has created a system where you can be pulled over. Right. Thomas is saying it before I can even say it. We've just created 1,000 excuses for cops to bother you. Ultimately, is what we've done with that over regulation. So I hate that. But again, this is just the system we're allowing here, people. If we want better, we got to do better and demand better. So this is where we're at.
117, what's your blood? Stay open.
That's kind of interesting, Socksmith. I also have never seen a cop show up to a traffic citation court. I've never seen that happen to me personally. It may have happened. I'm sure it does happen, but I'm just saying that I believe it's probably pretty common that they don't show up for traffic court, and they're just hoping you'll pay the fucking fine and that'll be the end of it, But if you don't, if they do show up for court and you did something wrong, you're almost certainly going to lose. So, I think maybe that's just their way. Like the real punishment is the points on your license and the fine, so that they get that whether or not they show up for court anyway, in many ways, by having to pay court costs or whatever it may be. Oh, there we go. Jesser says that he's fought 4 traffic tickets and the cops always showed up and he got 3 at least lowered. Yeah. So like I said, I think that if the cops did show up, it would probably be difficult for you to win if you did something wrong. Even if you didn't, though, it'd probably still be hard to win, because especially at the local level, you're dealing with judges who aren't the most competent, the most well-versed in, the bigger aspects of law and rights. So yeah. Anyway, you got to go to a higher court to really get justice nowadays. That's interesting, Thomas. I'm going to bring that up. A study by a legal firm found only about 5% of drivers contest their traffic citations. Many drivers choose to pay the fine and move on, according to Google. Yeah, that was my suspicion. And I imagine that that's the case in a lot of situations. Like you said, 5% is pretty insane. So that means 95% of people just pay the fine. So I think if you were a cop, you could probably pretty safely assume that you wouldn't have to show up for traffic court, considering that it's just going to be a fine anyway.
31.
That's a good point, Miles Park.
Traffic 69. Traffic 69. I don't have a space in the coffee.
Let's skip there a little bit, see, because it's mostly.
All right, Mr. Kennedy. So this is a ProLight Laser 3, okay? That's your speed. So how a laser works, you put the laser on a particular moving vehicle, which is your car. I got you from a range of 236 feet away, and I got you at 55 miles per hour, okay? There was other traffic coming too, but this laser, you have to put it on a particular target in order to get the speed. So I just wanted to show you that, okay? Your tint is illegal. I have a tester. I don't plan on writing you a citation for it, but if you would like, I can tell you how much it is. If you want to know.
Are we done here?
Who gives a shit about how much a fine you're not going to issue is, man? Like, that's like clearly you're only saying that to exert some degree of authority over this man. No one gives a fuck how much the fine for tinted windows is unless they get that fine. Okay. So if you're just going to issue a warning, then do that and shut the fuck up about it. You don't have to give him this whole, look what I could do to you lecture. Just do what you are going to do, what you intend to do. And shut the fuck up about it. Yeah, Jesus.
When I'm done talking to you, you'll know. When you're dismissed, you'll know when you're done. But I just wanted to offer that to you. If you wanted me to touch your tent,
So you're elongating this stop right now, so you
I can write you. I'm trying to give you a warning for
my
it.
ticket and go.
Listen, I'm trying to give you a
I
warning
don't
for
need directives. I just need my ticket. So
Stand by for me.
Now we're entering prolonging this stop for retaliatory reasons. I mean, he walked up to the car with a ticket already done, telling him that he's going to issue him a warning. At this point, we're at the end of this traffic stop, buddy. And now you're going back to your car just because you don't like the way the guy was talking to you. I mean, the dude in the car has a point here, and Rodriguez is a real thing. And you cannot just prolong the stop just because now you've decided that you do want to issue a ticket, and in an obvious retaliatory manner too. So, all right then, buddy. Yeah, very much contempt of cop. You guys are right. Yeah, the standby for me. EDAP says that he disagrees. He thinks the officer was trying to be courteous as a word of caution. The response the driver had was discourteous. No, I disagree with that completely. You don't have to tell people how much a ticket that is totally irrelevant to this stop is. That the only motivation he had for making that statement was, look what I'm not doing to you. Look what I could do to you, but I'm not going to. I think that the driver's response was appropriate. If someone is threatening me with some kind of financial sanction, I'm not going to take that well, especially if they've already essentially concluded this traffic stop. Like I said, we're really heading into the Rodriguez territory. And, walking away just to issue a ticket because you're pissed off about something is not a legitimate reason to continue this stop.
All right, sir, let your window up to this level right here. If you don't do, I'm gonna put you in jail for resisting an officer without violence. Step out of the vehicle. Because right now you're not complying with a lawful order, okay? So if you don't let it up to this point, I'm going to place you under arrest.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know right now.
Step out, you're under arrest.
Sir, I'm trying to let you know I have a firearm in my waistband.
Okay, that's
Yeah, and look, this cop is so caught up in the situation, getting pissed off about this guy's attitude. He couldn't even let him get the word out. Hey, man, I got a fucking firearm. I'm trying to tell you that. I'm trying to do the legally diligent thing here and let you know that I have a firearm. And you won't even let him get a word in to say that. He's just so fucking charged up at the moment that he can't get past this guy's attitude, And it's interesting because he was the fucking cop that is the one who initiated this stop. You know what I'm saying? He was the one who came to the window, with the accusations. I mean, somebody no one likes being pulled over. You can't expect somebody to be happy about getting a ticket, especially if they feel like it's bullshit. So, cops, you're in a service industry. You're going to have to deal with shitty customers, and retaliation is not a viable means for dealing with that. Okay.
That's fine. So just
and yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. The rolling up the window aspect. Okay. Now, this is something that hasn't been, as far as I know, diligently litigated in a higher court. So the jury's still out on whether or not rolling up your window is an act of incrimination or not, or like, are you under the obligation to assist an officer with their investigation by rolling up the window? Well, there's two ways to think about that, right? The first way is that, Brian, which is should people have to help cops do their investigation? Is it not an incriminatory thing to do by an incriminating thing to do to roll up your window and allow him to test his meter? But then we have the opposing opinion, which is that during a traffic stop, an officer has the authority to dictate your movement and to do whatever they need to do to further their investigation, as long as they're not violating any of your rights. So where the prosecution might argue from would be, well, since this cop has control over the stop, over this traffic stop right now, not doing that is not obeying a lawful order. And again, this is one of those things that has not been litigated to any meaningful degree that I'm aware of. There are states that have explicit language in their statutes that says that failing to comply with an order to check the tint is a resisting charge. So it's very much up in the air. And I feel like this will be one of those things that will probably be litigated at some point in the near future. And we'll have at least a circuit level decision that we could probably draw some implications from. But so far, every court that has dealt with this issue has been a lower court, and it hasn't been appealed to a higher court that I'm aware of. Again, I'm not a fucking unlimited lexicon of case knowledge or anything like that. There very well could be one that I'm not aware of, but as far as I know, this hasn't been litigated to a meaningful degree to be able to draw any conclusions from. So it's still kind of up in the air. He's only 8 minutes in, and while he could argue the extension because he said he wouldn't do anything, it's still potentially arguable that it's not a prolonged stop. I agree with that too. I was kind of being very zealous about invoking Rodriguez earlier and calling this a prolonged stop, but that would be debatable as well. And it would be one of those things that, the prosecution would have to make a case for, or the defense would have to make a case for, or I'm sorry, the prosecution in a federal case would have to make a case for. But again, it's still kind of, Rodriguez is one of those things that's so highly dependent on the circumstances that the case law it's very difficult to apply it in most situations. So although we do have this, you can't prolong a stop jurisprudence, what qualifies as existing under that jurisprudence is highly circumstantial. So I should probably throw up the disclaimer here while I'm talking about that shit. So again, it hasn't been litigated to a truly meaningful degree, and I don't think that rolling up the window or not, we could draw a legitimate conclusion from that yet. Same goes kind of with the prolonging of the stop, because it really depends on, how the laws around tint are written in Florida, how it's been litigated in lower Florida courts, a lot of that shit. So Rodriguez doesn't automatically apply just because the cop said that the stop was ending. But if I were an attorney operating in a defense capacity for this man, I would probably make that argument.
If you'd let me speak for 1/2 a second, I don't tell you that. You think I'm trying to...
Okay.
You're assuming what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is, right now, I have a firearm in my waistband.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
As long as you don't shoot me, we're good.
I wanted to let you know before you said to get out.
So what's going to happen if you don't let the window up? I'm going to place you under arrest. At this point,
do I have...
I don't understand why he's doing this. Like, are you going to arrest him or not? Because, you've told him to get out of the car, and now you're telling him to roll up the window, and then you were telling him to get out of the car. He's under arrest. Like, what is going on here? What are you doing? Are you arresting him? Or are you not? Do you want him to roll up the window? Do you want him to get out? Like, what the fuck do you want to happen here? There's been so many conflicting commands at this point that I don't know. I wouldn't be able to follow. Like, what is actually happening? What do you want me to do?
To assist you in your investigation, either there's a crime or there's not a crime. There's no searching for a crime.
Step out for me, okay?
You're
just don't reach for
searching
the firearm, okay? I'm glad you carry, because I totally support that. But you're going to turn this into something that it doesn't have to be. All you have to do is, sir, simply let your window up. I can test the tint for you, and I'm going to make my determination. I was going to give you a warning, but you want to argue about it.
I'm not sure if tint is a secondary crime or not, Mac, in Florida. In some places it is a secondary crime. You can't just be pulled over for your tint, and some places you can. I'm not sure what the actual statute says, or if this even is in Florida. I just think it is. Oh, what's up, brother? Thank you, Darren. Boss man, F the police. I can appreciate that message. Thank you for the $2, my man. Was that a bingo square? Probably.
It's not
So
that
this
serious,
is all
man.
retaliatory.
If you say so.
That's what you're doing.
Okay, where's the firearm at?
My waistband.
Okay, what you got? Oh, sweet. I have one of these. Glock 43?
42.
42, I'm sorry. Turn around for me. We have more in common than what's against us, but you still have to follow lawful command. If I'm giving you, listen to me for a second. I don't want to take you to jail, but you still have to follow a lawful order. If I have you let your window up, you have to comply with that, sir, or you will be arrested. This is a legal traffic stop. So why can't we just do that so you can go about your day?
I'm not making any more statements.
Okay, so you'd rather go to jail? Let me ask you this question. I help y'all. Can I let your window up? Is that a possibility so I can get you back in your car and get you on your way? Can we do that?
What's up, Domineer? Welcome back, brother.
Can we do that, sir? Brian, it's not that serious, man. Can I just do my job so I can get you on? Do you want to go to jail? Is that the goal here?
I like that this guy's not saying shit, because this entire line of questioning is pure. It means nothing. You know, it's just all ego bullshit. If you answer any of this shit, it's going to be incriminating. What he's doing right now is exactly what you should do in this situation, and just shut the fuck up.
All right, sir. I wish it didn't have to be like this, Brian, because I really don't want to do this. All you have to do is let your window up and allow me to test your tent. Have a seat for me.
Call your supervisor, please.
I'm about to do that right now. As a matter of fact, I think he called me.
All right, so at this point, the cop calls his supervisor. Let me just fast forward a little bit. Yeah, he gets on the phone with him for quite a while here. And then a lot of this video is them waiting for the supervisor to get here. Okay? And I don't know where it picks back up on where they actually start talking to him again. I'll try to get to that point. Here's the conversation that they have. Now, what we have here, though, is the other body camera footage. Now, this is the body cam of the sergeant or whatever supervisory officer, sergeant, lieutenant, whatever, arrived on the scene. And at first, it is muted because they have a conversation where they both mute their body cameras and you can't hear anything. But once he goes back up to the car to actually speak with this individual,
He was requesting the supervisor.
Yeah, let me talk to him.
Okay.
Lower the window.
Okay.
I'll lower the window. Can you unlock it?
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Hey, officer.
How you doing, sir?
Are you sergeant?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? He knows he messed up.
Okay.
He's messed up. He's opened himself up for for a federal lawsuit is what he's doing.
Okay.
His ego is getting in the way. And when my stop was already over and I was ready to leave, he says, "All right, hold tight." He didn't get enough control over telling me when I could leave, when I could go. I was ready to leave. He has my tickets, my license ready to go. He wanted to retaliate, and he's like, "Roll up your window. I'm going to test you." I said, "Well, I didn't say this, but I have a Fifth Amendment protection. I don't have to incriminate myself. Either there's a crime or there's not a crime. Okay, you can't continue to look for crimes to retaliate for me saying, all right, I'd like my ticket, I'm ready to go." And now here we are, and he's also throwing out laws that are not lawful. He's telling me that, you know, I'm interfering with his official duties. That's not at all what's happening. So he's making multiple mistakes. And matter of fact, it looks like he's already written a warning for a tent that he doesn't even know exists. So he's
yeah, I agree with that, Thomas. this guy does know just enough, which sometimes just enough is all you need to know. And this is a great example of how to exercise what a cursory understanding of your rights. So I give it to this guy, and I think that that's a fair characterization of his conduct here.
He's messing up from the top to bottom. So I'd like to be on my way.
Okay, let me ask you this. So he told you why he stopped you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What did he tell you?
He asked me, he says, do you know how fast you were going? I said, I don't know. I'd like for you to tell me. And he says, I got you at this and this and this. And I was like, okay. And I asked him if you got that on laser and, you know, all the normal stuff. And he's like, yep.
My man, 33rd. Nice to have you in here again, brother. Thank you for the $5, my man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. You're the man, dude. Thanks for stopping in again.
Got that. And
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna try to get you out of here, right? And then what you do, sir, you file a complaint, do whatever you want, get a lawyer, whatever. Right? Let me try to get you out of here, right? Give me a second.
I gave it to the sergeant. He listened to what he had to say, and he was like, well, let me try to get you out of here. Let's see if he actually follows up on that.
Are you on?
Oh, I'm on. I can put this back in to watch him. Okay.
All right, let me swap back to the other body camera footage now.
It's expired.
And because the chief leaves it, or the sergeant leaves his on the car, but now the other guy gets it back and turns his back on. And I think that he doesn't mute this conversation, but again, it's been a long time since we've seen this, or since I've seen this, so we'll see.
So I showed him my laser. I explained to him how the laser works and how I got him, because he didn't think that I gave him a ticket. So I showed him the feet. You're laser certified, right? And I showed him that. And I said, well, sir, as a courtesy, you know, I don't plan on giving you a ticket for it, but I can test your tint just as a courtesy. But instead of giving me attitude.
Complete mischaracterization of how that went. That is not how that went down. He asked him, do you know how much the fine I could give you is? He didn't immediately jump to, let me test your tint. He's trying to act like he came to the car with the tint meter in his hand or something, and that's not what happened.
I dismissed. Can I go now? I said, sir, when I'm done with the traffic stop, you know, you're free to go. Instead, he gave me attitude. I said, you know what? Since it's like that, let the window up, let me test your tint. And he refused. And he just won't.
See, he's leaving out the whole part where he told him that he was going to give him a warning, and then he decided to go back to his car to get the tint meter and actually issue a legitimate citation. He's not mentioned anything about that, and I'm sure you know why.
But not allow me to test the tint.
Have you given the tickets already?
Not yet. Not yet. So I was going to issue the tickets, but at that point I set everything on top of the car, and then I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and test the tint since it's like that. You know what I'm saying? And now he was signal zero, which is not a big deal.
There you go. He just admitted to it now. So at least he did get around to being forced to say that. So
I want him to be signal zero. I want everybody to be signal zero. But I have his gun in his car, and he's in the backseat of my car right now. So if you can convince him to let me just test the tint, I mean, we'll be done. That's all I want to do. I don't want to take him to jail. He's on this side. He was requesting the supervisor. So okay.
Okay, I'm assuming that conversation took place prior. Okay, so I'm getting this a little mixed up. Let me just clarify this. So that conversation took place before the one we watched with the supervisor speaking to him through the window. So then they have that conversation. This guy walks away for a minute while the supervisor's talking to the other guy. Let me play this. Yeah, so he's just standing around waiting for his supervisor to complete that conversation. And this is about where they start talking.
I'm on. I can put this back in to watch him. Okay.
I'm looking for you for sergeant.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let him go.
Okay.
Did you give him the tickets already?
Yeah, it's already written.
give me a ticket. I'm gonna hand it to him, and it's
Okay.
gonna go.
Okay, that'll work.
And then I'll tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
The agency's not gonna look at it.
And that's kind of what I was, where I was, man. But
He's gonna file a complaint regardless. But
Okay.
At least we did that.
Okay.
Hey, okay. Well, although it probably wasn't for the right reasons, you know what I'm saying? They did make the decision ultimately to not issue the tint citation and to let him go. But at this point, they've already detained him and put him in the back of the car. So I feel like it would actually be probably more diligent of them to issue the citation if they thought they had it. I give it to them, though. They did eventually arrive at the right resolution, but I don't think it was in the spirit of preserving this guy's constitutional rights. I think this sergeant just realized, hey, this is going to turn into a much bigger deal than we need it to. So let's just let his ass go. You know, that was the logic behind that decision. But I'm glad that they at least got to that point. And you're right, Jay Abate. They are trying to avoid a lawsuit, but they've already signed themselves up for that in a lot of ways. So, yeah, too much paperwork definitely could be that. But yeah, you know, it's good that they got here, but how they got here was very questionable.
Okay. Ocean is put on the seat.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll show you. Okay. I want that truck, man. I want that truck. Are you really trying to sell it?
Not really.
Okay. I already have a truck, man, but I was looking at it, man.
Okay, we don't need to hear this guy's whole conversation. Let's go back to this other body camera and see what actually happens. See if he puts his back on for letting this guy go.
Hey, you have a handcuff key? I got mine. I don't know.
Wait, did you put the lift key on?
Come on, sir. And then I said, you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. It's not person, just business. All right, I'm gonna put this right here, right? Can you lean forward? Because I'm trying not to hurt. They're gonna hurt.
Do I file the complaint with you or at the police station?
You can file a complaint with me, sir, but you go to the police station and it's better if you go to the police station. You know what I'm saying? Go right here. Go ahead, give me a second. Keep facing forward because this thing's locked. Keep facing forward. I don't want. Not that you will, but sometimes people turn around and punch you in the face. All right. You go downtown, and if you want to file internal complaint or whatever it is that you want to do, you know what to do, sir.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I'm worried about, the gun in the front seat, because you might be mad or whatever.
Wait till you leave, or what do you want me to do?
Just wait for us. Give us a minute and we'll leave.
Okay.
Before you go in your car. That way
I'll
everybody's
stand
safe.
over there in the grass.
That way everybody's safe. All right? Human, it happens. Okay, so let me give you this.
He's admitting to some errors there. You hear that? Like, it happens. Sorry about that. My bad. You know, this is the kind of shit that the cop shouldn't be saying right now. You know, if he wants to avoid a lawsuit, you shouldn't be admitting fault right there on the scene. That's kind of a scary thing to do. But yeah, I mean, they let him go.
No, this right
They
here,
let
sir.
him go.
Come on, don't even look that way.
I don't like the argument either that, or what this cop's trying to say, like, don't leave until we leave because you're armed. Like, dude, he's legally armed. You're driving by people all the fucking time that have guns. You're in Florida, you know, they have it's very easy to get a CCW in Florida, you know, so everyone has guns. It's crazy. Like, there shouldn't be all these like extra standards for people doing lawful things like possessing a firearm. So it's kind of just ridiculous that they're making him stand there and wait till they decide to leave. Like, fuck that. Now I'm going to go get in my car and leave. You once this stop is over, you don't have any authority to dictate what I do. And when it's over, I'm leaving. You're not, I'm not sitting around waiting for you to feel comfortable. That's never going to happen. You know?
Come on. This right here, sir. I don't know if you ain't got a ticket before.
Yes, sir.
But you go to court. You go to court. You go to traffic. It's three options. But what they do, you got 30 days. Okay. Tells you right here. You go to driving school. Go to court and pay it. Okay. Here's your driver's license, sir.
I'll wait till you pull off.
Yeah, just all right. Thank you. I can't say I have a good day because it's already a bad day, but all right.
Watch out.
Yeah, let's drive off because he's not going in the car with a gun until we're leaving.
Hey, good luck.
Yeah.
All right. I believe that that's pretty much the end of that one as well. Interesting encounter. Lots of, like questionable legal things to talk about. It's funny how much of the small, like, ancillary aspects of law enforcement and carrying out traffic stops has not really been litigated to any meaningful degree in court. You'd think that something like, do I have to roll up my window to comply with this investigation, would have been something that would have reached a court at some point in time, So I just don't understand why we still have these like minor things that are still so up in the air when we have such a strong infrastructure for pinning down those minor details. It sucks. The scary voice of the sergeant. It was a weird ending. And again, like I said, I wouldn't there's no way that a cop is going to tell me to stay somewhere after we've completed a stop and he no longer has authority over me. There's no way I'm just going to say, okay, you're right though, Thomas. It is a pretty small hill to die on for either party, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a hill at all. This should already be a paved path from the courts, that people easily walk along, because we still have all these fucking weirdo, like rules, basically dumb rules that have no legal backing. It puts a lot of people in these gray areas that they shouldn't have to be in. And it sucks. And, I think as far as how the guy handled that situation, it was really good. I have no complaints about what he did or said or any of the things that happened. I don't know if he was actually speeding or not. He seems pretty convinced he wasn't, but the cop also had a laser right there to show him. So we can't really speak much on the legality of the initial encounter, but I have to give it to him that he handled that interaction very well. You're always late. Welcome, Show Me On. It's glad to have you here, dude. I've been thinking about pushing the stream back to 6 to 9 instead of 5 to 8. What do you guys think about that? Would you guys prefer a 6 to 9 time instead of a 5 to 8? Because 5 to 8 is kind of early for me too. I'd rather do 6 to 9, and that kind of seems like more of the middle time slot, but I don't know. 5 to 8, 6 to 9. Maybe we should do a poll. Let's do a poll. Stream time. We'll do 5 to 8, 6 to 9. Vote it. Vote up. Let's see what you guys got. Oh, wow. Ooh, that's pretty competitive. Oh, big jump. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of moving to 6 to 9 as well. I just feel like it would be more convenient for most people because, like, I'm kind of shitting on the West Coast people with that Central Time because it would be 6 to 9 Central Time. And the reason is because, when I start the stream, it's like after work for most people on half the country, but not after work. The other half of the country is still working. So I think 6 to 9 would probably be better. You're trying to be with family that late? No, sacrifice your family and come here. Just, divorce your wife and only watch these streams. disown your children and come here. This is all the family you need, man. Starting to sound like a sovereign citizen. This is your family now. That's right. Yes, human sacrifices are required. That's correct. If you want to join my cult, that's what you got to do. The cult of Lang, right? I got one more video for us to go over, which many of you may have already seen, but maybe not, because a lot of people didn't fucking watch this video. But I had an editing error in the last version of this video that I've now fixed. I thought about re-uploading it to the channel, but I don't know. It already went up once and didn't do very good, so we can watch it here and just put this to rest. But it's the video that I did 2 years. There's been a lot of talk permeating the dialogue. What the heck? Society about. There we go. So this is the video I did about Body Cam Declassified, the YouTube channel, the investigation, if you will, into who owns that channel, who's making the content, and why are they making this content. Can some you guys in the chat let me know, have you guys watched this video already? It got like 12,000 views, so not a lot. And I imagine that most people probably didn't see this, so we might as well watch it and check it out, and maybe I can give you some insight into some things that I didn't say in the video. All right, so we're about 50-50 on people that watched it and people that haven't. That's good, because I think it's worth watching for the people who haven't, and this will be a cool experience for the people who have, because there's, some stuff about it that, I could probably say that wasn't captured on the video. Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of you probably didn't watch this because it's not a police interaction. It doesn't really have anything to do with police interaction. Well, it does, but not in a direct way. So it's not one that most people probably would have clicked. And so that's why I think this is probably a better video for you guys, for the people who are a dedicated audience. So we'll watch this together. Again, we're not doing the hands flapping on this one. Thankfully, my hands are out of the frame, probably for a reason. But this is a good video that I think a lot of people, especially in the auditing community, need to see. And maybe I over investigated this a little bit, but it was fun. It was a fun video to do, to say the least. I got to show off some of the other investigative skills that I have beyond just looking into the law, and looking into a company and things like that. So fun video. Another meta reaction where I guess I'm reacting to myself, which is, again, kind of cringy, but hey, this is a lost episode stream, so this is what you're going to get. Over the last few years, there's been a lot of talk permeating the dialogue of American society about disinformation, misinformation, and social media engineering. We've been through accusations ranging from bot farms suppressing spicy Reddit threads all the way up to Russian assets tampering with election results. But there are many ways that someone could go about spreading misinformation. You're cracking me up, One Man in Japan. This is funny. Yeah, an Anklet the Anklet fan. I got the cap and the hand guide back there. That's funny. Information and influencing the opinions of a society, and some of them happen to be pretty profitable. So let me just lead this video with the least interesting part of the story, but what you are most likely here to see. There is a YouTube channel that you may or may not have heard of that posts police-related content. It's called Bodycam Declassified, and at first glance, it looks like... All right, let's take a roll here. How many of you have seen this YouTube channel that's being shown on the screen right now? How many of you are familiar with the content that they create? And how many of you have seen the fucking video of the FBI agent supposedly getting harassed by the officer for him to only find out that he was a FBI agent? Isn't it fake? Well, you're about to see. All right, well, let me put you guys on some knowledge about this channel then. Just another body cam aggregate channel like Police Activity or Code Blue Cam. The description of their channel even says that they bring their audience, quote, real, unfiltered body cam footage offering insight into real world situations. But pretty much all the content on this channel is totally fake. Not only is it fake, but it seems like their primary goal is to make cops look like total assholes. The plot of almost every one of their videos sets up a stereotypical situation where the police officer ends up coming off as a tyrant in the most generic way you could possibly imagine. It's probably obvious to most of you just by looking at the footage that this is all fake, but that's not the case for a lot of people who end up being exposed to this channel's content. I mean, just take a look at the comments section of any of their videos and you'll see that it is filled with people who think that what they're watching is a real police interaction. You know, that is, I want to add something to this now because this is something I don't really talk about too much more in the video. But guys, seriously, if you look at their comment section, you would be mind blown at how many people think this is real. And granted, you know, we all have the experience of watching body camera footage, right? We know what to expect, what to look for. You know, what the typical police interaction looks like and how it unfolds. But a lot of people don't have that knowledge and they just see this at face value, and it's impossible for them to draw a distinction between, is this real or is it fake? Because it being fake is not even in the orbit of their thought patterns around stuff like this. Like, no one would ever just think, oh, I saw a body cam video and it was fake. You know, the whole point of body cam video is to be transparent and honest. You know what I'm saying? So it's particularly disingenuous to use body camera content to make fake body camera content. I feel like that's really fucked up. And that's just the YouTube comments. Imagine all the comments are not bots. I wish they were, but they are very thorough in their opinions about the things that happen in these videos. And it's very clear that these are just real people, you know, that have opinions about this shit. So they're not bots. Rogue clips that are floating around on the internet with no context at all. Now, there are a few elements of these videos that we can use to prove that they're fake. And a content creator named Rob's Films made a short proving that whoever edits the body cam declassified videos uses stock sound bites, fake props, and logos for the police department, and that nearly every video was filmed on or near the same location in Miami. Now, this is the part that I think is kind of funny, okay? Because I made this 20-minute long video about this, and there were a couple of other creators like Rob's Films who had done this like real deep dive, right? And they'd figured out all these details about like, here's where they work at, you know, here's who works there, or I've seen this guy, you know, in multiple videos or whatever. And they just put together this pattern of facts to prove that these are fake videos, right? That like all we have to do to prove that these are fake are look at the videos, which is true. That is one way that you can go about investigating this and determining whether or not these videos are authentic. But there is actually a much easier way that I didn't see anyone mention in any of their videos covering this. And I don't know if it was just for the sake of content or what, but you can prove that these videos are fake in about 2 seconds. And I'm about to show that to you here. But it actually doesn't even take that much investigation to prove that these videos are fake. If you just go to bodycamdeclassified.com, you'll find a thoroughly worded legal notice that blatantly discloses that these videos are fake, while also warning that any unauthorized use of their content will be aggressively pursued through copyright litigation. They even offer licensing options if you'd like to join them in their misinformation campaign. I'm sure it doesn't cost much to sign up in case any of you are interested. So yeah, like a lot of people, there are people, and people have made videos since I made this video, kind of, you know, dissecting all of the body camera footage to prove it's fake and going through this long investigation where if you just go to fucking bodycamdeclassified.com, it clearly says it's fake right there. So that's all the investigation you really have to do to prove that aspect of it. But the point of this video was to kind of take it a layer deeper, because through the course of my investigation, I discovered a connection with another YouTube channel, which we'll talk about in a minute. So not only is this channel creating fake content that could only be described as outrage farming, but they are also creating a honeypot for content creators who get tricked into believing that their content is real and then get copyright strikes for reposting what they thought was a real police interaction that would be subject to open records laws. But like I said earlier, the fact that this channel is creating, that is another thing that I think that was kind of glossed over by most of the other people talking about this, is the honeypot aspect of this, where it seems like this would be footage that is available to the public that anyone could use, but any creator who tried to take this would have to deal with all of the bullshit that they put on their official website regarding this stuff. So it's very much a honey trap for other creators as much as it is an outrage farm for viewers. Fake content might be the least interesting part of all this. It's who they're related to that makes this story really strange. When I first started digging into this channel, I was only really concerned with proving that it was fake. And honestly, that turned out to be a lot easier than I thought. But things got a little weird when I stumbled across a Reddit post that mentioned that one of the patrol cars had a logo for the City of Mango Park Police. Well, I did a little Googling, and the City of Mango Park doesn't exist, at least not in the real world. But it does exist in a fictional world, one that was created by a channel known as Soul Snack. You could describe the kind of content that Soul Snack makes as drive-by empathy, in a way. They make bite-sized skits where every character is a stereotype, every story has this really straightforward lesson, and the moral is driven home with basically no nuance. It's the kind of content that feels like it's teaching values, but it's really doing a lot more pandering than enlightening. It's kind of like if your HR department decided to start making TikToks after their trust fall ceremony, but for navigating everyday life. Whether it's racism, poverty, bullying, domestic violence, it's all basically just social justice cosplay. Yeah, drive-by empathy is hilarious. That is, I think, a good way to characterize this, because it's so, yeah, it's so like one of those, like, it's watching videos from channels like Soul Snack is almost the same thing as peeking out of your window when you know your neighbors are fighting. You know what I mean? It like almost comes from the same place. It's not because you want to learn a valuable lesson about what you're about to see. It's just, it looks interesting and I want to watch it. You know, like there's no justification beyond that. And when you're making content that is characterized as teaching valuable life lessons and shit like that, yeah, it's just all about the popcorn at the end of the day. I think that says a lot about, you know, your mission as a creator. Very reminiscent of Darman, if you know who that is. Now, they dipped their toes in some police-style content as well, but nothing that was ever framed as raw body camera footage. They have a pretty serious following, sitting at just under 1.3 million subscribers at the time of recording this video, and they've reined in over 550 million views in their 4 years of being on YouTube. You could probably easily double those numbers if you're considering all the other platforms that they're on. Soul Snack's bio describes it as, quote, a channel for passion, purpose, and positivity videos. And it also says that it wants to make the world a better place with the content that it creates. Isn't that rich? Isn't that just so rich that it wants to create a better world with the content they create? Ugh. Now, I'm not here to pass a moral judgment on the content that Soul Snack makes. Some people might find these incredibly dry and simple life lessons that the channel's content is all about useful. And I can't really find an argument for why they shouldn't be making that type of content. The problem that I have is that I'm almost certain that the person who runs this channel also runs Bodycam Declassified, which is the highest order of hypocrisy. I do want to take a minute to expand on all the ways that the Bodycam Declassified channel is causing direct harm to the reputation of police officers and the general public, and seems to be actively contributing to creating false outrage aimed at law enforcement. But first, I want to quickly show you my evidence that Soul Snack is the owner of the Bodycam Declassified channel. All right, so here is where another... Now, this actually took me a little bit of time to connect and put together, okay? And I had to use a bunch of different things, different platforms, different tools to make these connections and really figure out like where do we go beyond the layer of just connecting this channel with that channel? How do we do it without just implication, without speculation? How can we draw a legitimate conclusion that these two channels are connected? Because the evidence that I present is circumstantial without knowing the deeper thing that exists there. So yeah, it is a little bit sounds like a conspiracy theory. Yeah, I mean, it was until it wasn't, is what I'm getting at. Your channel enters the picture that led me to discovering the relationship between Bodycam Declassified and Soul Snack. There's a channel called Judge Porter that has about 165,000 subscribers, and it's basically a YouTube version of Judge Judy or Judge Mathis. It's your run-of-the-mill courtroom drama show that's made to look like reality TV. This channel is a side project of Soul Snack, and that's no secret. Not only can you tell in the production value, but there are a few online articles where they publicly state that they are related. And for absolute proof, we can look at Soul Snack's Facebook page and see that it is owned by a company called DWBH LLC. And if we check the public trademarks listed under that LLC, you can see that it has registered both Soul Snack and Judge Porter. But interestingly enough, Bodycam Declassified hasn't been trademarked by this company. Now, personally, I suspect that they did that because they want to keep a layer of separation between their good content and their bad content, but this is purely a personal belief, and I don't actually have any inside knowledge about why they haven't acquired that trademark. That's just my guess. But this is somewhat of an educated guess. Now that I'm thinking about this, maybe I should go get the trademark for Bodycam Declassified and take their channel. That would be funny. That would be the ultimate fuck you to them. I might do that. Or if someone else wants to do it, feel free. Let's take that trademark. Since they don't have it, it's wide open. Anyone could take it. 33rd, my man, another $5. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. That means a lot, especially coming from you, dude. And Brian B., I just want to say, fuck you, dude. Go listen to something else then. Yeah. Pull a direct D on them. Exactly, dude. I could pull a direct D on their ass and fucking take that shit. That's a good idea. That's a good way to say it, too. I'm going to start referring to that as direct D'ing someone. Because he set the precedent for that. Because if you dig into DWBH LLC, you'll find that it is registered as a foreign LLC in the state of Florida. The headquarters of this company is actually in Kent, Delaware, and it was originally created back in 2020. It's basically operating as a domestic shell corporation in Florida. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong or illegal about that. I'm sure there are quite a few tax advantages to registering in Delaware, but it also adds some layers of liability that would need to be peeled back in the event of a lawsuit. So something that I couldn't say in this video and still can't tell you, but I can at least reference this, is that through the course of this investigation, I found out exactly who owns this channel. I know exactly where their studio is. I know where their mom lives. I know their exact address. I know their car. I know what cars they drive. I know the license plates for those cars. If I wanted to, I could go directly to this person's door right now. They don't even live that far away from me. So this is the kind of stuff that I couldn't include in this video in any real capacity, but some of the things I found out through the course of investigating this company, there's a lot of information about this company and the owners of this company that you could find out if you really did some digging. And I'll just say that based on what I know about these individuals, it further adds to the notion that they're only doing this to get money. Like that's the primary motivation behind this. And yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about who they are, where they are, or anything like that. That's not the point of this video. But I just wanted to kind of make the case that I took this investigation really far, a lot deeper than I can show you in a YouTube video. So there's that. Anyway, back to the Judge Porter channel. It's clear that a small group of actors take part in the episodes of Judge Porter. And many of the episodes feature the same actors playing different roles in different legal scenarios. Well, it didn't take long to start spotting some actors that had roles on both Judge Porter and Bodycam Declassified. Here you can see that a guy from a Stolen Valor video on Bodycam Declassified's channel appears in multiple episodes of Judge Porter. This video in particular, the Stolen Valor one, was really cringy. And I don't know how people thought that that was a real video. But dude, people did. People did. And the way the guy acted in that video was just so over the top and ridiculous. And the way he was dressed too, it was just like, even if this had been a case of Stolen Valor, the guy, if there was legitimately a guy walking around in what this guy was wearing, then he has mental issues. It isn't Stolen Valor. It's not somebody trying to gain some. This guy's just literally crazy to be walking around. I mean, look, you could see just in the image, he's wearing a Marine Corps jacket with an Army pin and a Vietnam vet hat. This guy, he's obviously not old enough to have participated in Vietnam. Like just this alone, just seeing this one image basically tells you everything you need to know about this video. Thomas says he wears medals everywhere he goes. Yeah, I think we all do. That's the type of people we like to attract in this chat, the people who've done the hard work to get the medals, and this drunk sheriff that supposedly abused his authority to get out of a DUI in one of Bodycam Declassified's videos also plays one of the main villains on both the Judge Porter channel and the Soul Snack channel. And here you can see that in Bodycam Declassified's most popular video, which is about a cop falsely arresting an FBI agent, even though the faces are blurred, this guy from an episode of Judge Porter happens to look just like the FBI agent and even has the same arm tattoos. Unless Miami's just crawling with identical twin crisis actors, I think it's safe to say we got our guy here. Nearly every single person that appears on the Bodycam Declassified channel can also be found in an episode of Judge Porter or Soul Snack. And now you might say that the actors are just a coincidence, and that's a fair critique. But let's put a dagger in this and I'll show you what I consider to be very strong evidence that all three of these channels are operated by DW. This is a really good question, okay? Can Axon sue them? Yeah, probably, because if you notice that the asset that they're using for the Axon logo that they're putting up in the top right-hand corner of their videos to make it look like a body cam is burned in. It doesn't come from whatever camera they were using. So they don't have access to an Axon camera, and regular people generally can't get access to that. And as a matter of fact, I was just working with a very popular content creator who does predator catching videos. They wanted to incorporate body camera footage into their videos, so they purchased an Axon body camera off eBay secondhand. Well, the problem is those are locked. They use proprietary code to develop the software that runs those cameras and the encryption system. And the only way that you can access any of the footage on an Axon body camera is by mating it to an Axon dock, which they do not sell to the public. And the reason that they do that is because all those Axon docks, whenever you dock a body camera, it automatically downloads and submits that video footage to evidence.com, which is a website that's also ran by Axon. And it essentially is in this giant database of highly sensitive evidentiary information that people from the general public have no access to. That's why. And ultimately, just to shore up that story I was telling you about the content creator, as far as I know, he hasn't been able to access that body camera yet. I talked to everyone I knew about this, about how to get into one of those cameras. I even asked ChatGPT. What's funny is when I asked ChatGPT, are there any known workarounds or jailbreaks for accessing a Axon body camera? It got immediately flagged and basically told me, hey, what you're trying to do is illegal. I can't help you with that. And you're violating our terms of service by even having this conversation. So, yeah, as far as I know, members of the public can't even get a body camera that will be useful to them from Axon. So, yeah, I think that they would have a legitimate way to sue for using their proprietary assets in your commercial production. Dude, 33rd, my man, $5. Appreciate it. I can't thank you enough, dude. I can't think of anybody enough who donates. I mean, you are literally helping keep this channel alive by doing that. So it means a lot. Thank you, dude. I was hot as fuck when I saw that Sight Cane video. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that one too. BH LLC. And back to Facebook we go. It actually took quite a bit of digging to find this Facebook page because, as you can see, it looks either incomplete or just poorly put together. I'm not sure what the hell is going on with the presentation of this page, but that doesn't stop them from posting content every now and then. And what did they post most recently, you might ask? Oh, what's this? A body cam declassified original. And this isn't a shared or linked post. They uploaded this directly to the page. And who owns this page? None other than DWBH. Yeah, so here's I think that this is where we reach the point where it's undeniable that DWBH LLC is who owns body cam declassified, because it would be a wild coincidence for the same actors, same location, same people who I know own the company, involved in owning this page and uploading body cam declassified content. There's just no way that would happen without, yeah. So, LLC. It's worth noting that this page looks like it was originally made for the Judge Porter show, but at some point they stopped posting for a while, and their only post since October of last year is a body cam declassified video. Combining that with the fact that all three channels share the same cast, production value, and locations, I think this is pretty strong evidence that these are all controlled by the same company. And naturally, this begs the question, why is a channel that's supposedly making family-friendly content with a mission to create positivity also making content that is diametrically opposed to that mission and is actively adding negativity into the discourse of American policing. Now that we've established a relationship, let's talk about all the fucked up shit that Body Cam Declassified does that, in my opinion, should draw some criticism at the very least. First of all, nearly every single video, with one or two exceptions, reenacts a situation where the police officer looks like a total dipshit. Now, I'm not trying to defend the reputation of cops or anything. So, should we continue this video? You guys let me know, because basically from here on out in the video is me just talking about all the things that I think are fucked up about this content. One thing I do think I want to show you guys is the part where I basically make the case that they're violating YouTube's terms of service. So they're obviously posting manipulated content, and by YouTube's own definition, content that has been technically manipulated or doctored in a way that misleads users, usually beyond it being taken out of context, and that may pose a serious risk of egregious harm. Now, I think that there's no denying that the content that they make is doctored by adding the fake Axon logo and shit like that. And I believe that it is doctored in a way that misleads users, which is to say that this is real body camera footage. That's what they're trying to do with the doctoring. And for the third clause, that it may pose a risk of egregious harm. Now, imagine if people just saw that and that was their entire the entire scope of how they viewed police interactions was through a fucking body cam declassified video. You know what I mean? So I think that there's that, and then there's also one other. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Just the general misinformation policy. So, or was that it, or was it the other? Yeah, no, there was another one too that I think they violated. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Here's a good quote that kind of encapsulates why I have a problem with this content. The ideal subject of totalitarian rule is not the convinced Nazi or the convinced communist, but the people for whom the distinction between fact and fiction and the distinction between true and false no longer exist. And I think that that's where we're heading as a society, not just with law enforcement, but with the entire scope of our political discourse. So I can't say it enough that now is the worst possible time in the course of our society to be creating content like this. And I think that if there ever was a time to make a case that this could cause an egregious degree of harm, it would be right now in our society. What's up, Sandy? Says, I'm just going to drop a comment. Thank you for giving me something decent to listen to while putting stuff back together in the glass shop. Sweet. Yeah, hell yeah. Happy to do that. I want to find out, by the way, okay, so apparently 6 to 9 is by far the preferred time slot. So we'll probably start doing that moving forward, just to let you guys know. Jordan says, I create AI generated content and I always apply the label that I used AI. And I think that would be, that's the appropriate way to do that. And look, there's nothing wrong with using AI. And I've made the case for this before. There's times in ATA where you hear AI and you don't even realize you're hearing it. I have a clone of the narrator's voice that I use to fix issues that we may have during the editing process, or, whatever. Sometimes, there's just he said something a way I'd prefer it be said differently. So, it's useful and it can be used in a way that is effective and a good thing to do. I wanted to check out. So, Terrell said, or Mr. Simmons says that James Freeman was arrested and Pigs Under Pressure is doing a live stream. Let's see if we can find out about that. All right, let me see if I can share the screen with you guys. Oh,
Brother, hey, thank you so much.
you guys let me know if that's too quiet. It sounds kind of quiet to me.
This is Freeman's friend. He's walking out the door. He's catching a phone.
Oh, did I mute it? Sorry.
Spring James Freeman from Sarita to Pima County Jail. We need to call the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Tell them to come over here and make a fucking arrest on this sergeant. Or not sergeant, I'm sorry. The chief. The chief of the
I think that's
Sarita
as loud as I can make it.
needs to be arrested. He
Yeah, I can
literally
barely hear it
assaulted
too.
James Freeman. And they got him in the dungeon. They got him underneath the jail. This is important, you guys.
Dang, can I
mean, look,
not manipulate this
James
audio?
Freeman has,
Guess not.
you know, just like Brian said.
You guys can hear it?
James Freeman has
It's sufficient? Okay, cool.
sparked brush fires of freedom in every one of your heads. And
What's the
the
backstory?
least
I don't
you
know.
can
Let
do is
me
make some
type in
phone
the
calls
chat
to
and
try
see.
figure out what they're doing with him, how we can get him out, what his bond is. I will go bond him out right now. I don't care if it's 10 grand. He's getting bonded out. 857 Tucson will most likely be streaming the court proceedings tonight. So we'll
See if we get a
that,
reply to that.
information when it comes through. Trinity, if you happen to see 857 this evening and I'm not around you, if you can screen record that interaction so we have it documented. Bottom line is, you guys, we need to get him out regardless of what it costs. I don't give a fuck if it's $10,000. We're getting him out today. He needs to be out. He deserves to be with his family. This chief is literally, he had a bone to pick with Freeman because of the video he made about the
Rewind
pastor
10 minutes.
and his
Okay,
wife
they're
being
telling me to
killed.
rewind 10
Now
minutes, so
Freeman
let's
is
do
here
that.
trying-
I
Right.
believe that's true.
Good.
They were going to contact. So.
Good. This is insane, you guys. If you go back on Freeman's videos, the Sarita Police Department broke into the You keep putting your ass right in the camera. I'm sorry. It's all right.
Just put the other side.
I
They'll
want to face it that way because he doesn't really want to be on
They
camera.
like the
so-
full frontal instead.
Yeah. Do the front side if you don't mind.
I hate that you can't
Yeah, you
2x
guys can go
live
back on
streams.
James's
That's
channel. It's a very well articulated video that he put together about the Sarita Police Department attacking some elderly folks, a pastor and his wife.
Yeah.
They didn't want to let the police into their house. It was late at night. They ended up
We
kicking the
covered
door
this
in
on
and hurting
ATA.
the pastor's wife. Am I correct on that?
Correct. They batter rammed the door.
They batter rammed the door,
Yeah.
you guys, on a pastor in his wife's home. And so
Based on an anonymous call.
Yeah.
Zero exigency.
an anonymous call, you guys.
Yeah. Audit the Audit also did a show on it as well.
Yeah, we did.
So we gave all that information, and Audit the Audit did a show as well. So we've got over 100,000 views on this case, or no, 500,000 views with Freeman and
The audit
Audit
channel.
the Audit, and it's just the beginning. Like, we were going to get depositions. We're excited about it. We want to go through all those things. We had verified all the rules. There was
Oh,
no
you can?
court order against us doing anything as far as recording the deposition.
Ah,
Right.
We
yes.
have interesting video from the depositions already. There's more to come. So, but even though we weren't in there recording, the pastor
recorded?
Yes.
Good. So it was
yeah,
documented.
Right. So yeah, these guys have a lot coming to them. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, just the mental state of mind that this pastor has got to be in right now is it blows my mind. I mean, from what they've seen in their own home and now what they've seen at the police department, how these people act,
Right.
and what they'll do to somebody. Like, you guys, there's 791 people in there, and I bet you every one of them knows James Freeman.
Yeah.
He is non-aggressive, man. I mean, he maybe passive aggressive is the most you can go with, right?
I don't hear them.
He's
They're
a
not
really
saying
good
anything
guy.
about why.
about it, we want to go through.
Just going to go back to the live. You know,
In there to fuck him up. Not a single one was wearing a body cam. This was a setup. They did this to him on purpose because he documented and exposed the corruption within the department already. It's disgusting, guys. 1,059 people in here. This is the largest live stream I've ever had, you guys.
hell yeah.
So welcome in and thank you guys all for being here.
Go back
Thank you,
farther.
Tommy.
Oh, did he record it happening? Okay, well, let's go back and yeah.
No, it's court. I think that's where he was, though, honestly.
This is killing me. God, it's hard to look at it 2x.
Here we go. Here's the police car. Sorry, I'm all zoomed in, guys. Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think this will probably have to be something that we take a look at once we know more details about it. I'll try to figure out what's going on with him, though, and see if I can help him in any way. I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know what his coverage of that, of, I'm trying to remember their names. I think it's Aiken, the Aiken family. What that would have to do with him getting arrested. Yeah, I mean, that's a real legitimate thing that most people don't think about when they go to get into auditing, is that you will have to deal with the cops and the repercussion, the expensive financial repercussions that come with being a First Amendment auditor. That's usually a quite a deterrent for most people, but not for all, obviously. Oh, wish I could figure out why he was arrested. And a $10,000 bond is kind of insane. If that's the PR bond or whatever, I'm wondering, like, is he having to just pay a percentage of that, or is that the percentage? It's largely going to be based on the charges that he's charged with, but I don't know. If he was just arrested today, there's a very slim chance that he would give him bond this quickly. But then again, I don't know how they do it over there in Arizona, so it could be different. He might have confronted the police department that pulled those shenanigans, if I had to speculate. Very, very well possible. Mm. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up here today. Like I said, going to be a bit of a short stream, one that's a little more dedicated to just you guys. And just kind of like something special, I thought, we did cover at least 2 interactions that were relatively exclusive. One, the second one that we talked about, I don't think had been posted anywhere. So yeah, I really just want to kind of get off here early to see if I can figure out what's going on with James Freeman really quick and see if I can help him. I hate to see people go into jail for bullshit. So if there's something I can do, I would like to do it. And just watching someone's live stream is not helping anyone. So I think we can wrap it up here. And I guess, guys, next stream we're going to be 6 to 9 and we're going to be 69 and from here on out, ladies and gentlemen. So get used to it. Get used to the smell of 6 and 9 because that's where we're going to be. Love you too, 33rd. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for donating. That means a lot. But yeah, 6 to 9. That's going to be our new time frame. And I think that's going to work a lot better for fucking everybody. Definitely me, because I'll actually get to eat every time before the stream, which will be nice. Sometimes I'm fucking hungry when I'm coming on here. Maybe that's, I think Christus Beach is the one who's called me out for being salty on some of these streams. And it's probably just because I was hungry. So, all right. That's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to see what I can figure out about James Freeman, see if there's anything I can do to help him out real quick. If not, I'm going to chill. 6 to 9 next time. And I actually have something pretty funny and different planned for the next stream. So please be here. This coming, what's today? Thursday? Yeah. Saturday, 6 to 9. I got something funny and fun planned for you guys. So I hope you'll join us. I hope you can be there on a Saturday. I know it's your free time, but it'll be worth your time. I think you'll get a laugh out of it, if nothing else. So join us 6 to 9 Saturday. Until then, I'll see you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers.